In Galatians chapter 4 verse 4, it reads, "At the fullness of time, God sent his Son, Jesus Christ, born of a woman, born a subject of the law, to redeem the subject of the law, and to make us adopted sons and daughters of God. And because you are sons and daughters, God has sent into your hearts the spirit of a son, which cries out, Abba, Father." And that is why in Vatican II, precisely in Lumen Gentium chapter 8, number 53, the church puts down in writing the tremendous and indispensable role played in redemption. She calls her, that is Mary, temple of the Holy Spirit. Though her role in redemption was to be a purely human one, acting on behalf of mankind, it is a matter of great importance because every grace, virtue, and supernatural gift which Christ merited is given to us by Mary and the Holy Spirit. The union of Mary and the Holy Spirit begins from Mary's conception, but continues to intensify throughout her life. Almost every time in the infancy narrative that she is mentioned, the Holy Spirit is there to be found. Yes, at the Annunciation, the Holy Spirit comes down upon Mary. When she visits her cousin Elizabeth, the Holy Spirit inspires Elizabeth to proclaim to Mary, "Blessed are you among women." In the presentation in the temple, it is the Holy Spirit who inspires Simeon to come to the temple to see the Christ child. At Pentecost also, Mary is gathered with the apostles as the Holy Spirit descends upon them. From the time of Assumption, however, it seems that the Holy Spirit has given this job to his spouse, for it is Mary who has continued the mission of telling the world to pray and do penance and to obey the commandments of God. And many centuries ago, varied people have experienced her demonstration at Guadalupe, Lourdes, Fatima, all these prophetic revelations which have immensely helped the new people of God to stay on the narrow road of heaven. And since the mission of the Holy Spirit is to attract us to Godhead, to sanctify, then Mary's mission is not only to attract us to Him, but in fact to attract Him to us. As Saint Maria de Montfort will say, it is Mary who can bring us into that deeper and more personal relationship with the Holy Spirit, wherein we can feel His effect in our lives. Without the intervention of the Holy Spirit, and by the acceptance of the Blessed Virgin Mary, who was worthy to bear the Holy Son of God as Theotokos, the fate of humanity would have been in jeopardy. However, Mary shows us the Holy Spirit not only by her outer appearance, but also by her inner virtues: profound humility, her angelic sweetness, her spotless purity, her heavenly wisdom. And to see Mary is to see the Holy Spirit. To see the Holy Spirit is to see holiness. As Christ said to his disciples, "He who has seen me has seen the Father." So Mary, in analogous way, could say, "He who has seen me has seen the Holy Spirit." I know part of the mission of the Holy Spirit is to show forth holiness to the church. In fact, He is the fullness of God, and He is that holiness. But His action, His person is unseen. So next to Christ, Mary gives us the clearest picture of what the Holy Spirit, what holiness looks like. She is called the mirror of the Holy Spirit, the human portrait. Besides, it is the Holy Spirit Himself who has formed, I talk about His human portrait. That is Mary mirroring, that they call the mirror of the Holy Spirit. That is the Holy Spirit's portrait. Besides, it is the Holy Spirit Himself who has formed Mary into His image, who has made her like himself. So people have said that, sometimes husbands and wives who have lived together and for a long time in marriage, sometimes they begin to look alike. Perhaps the same can be said of the Holy Spirit and his spouse, who actually resembles each other. Yes, the Holy Spirit's mission to dispense grace of the new covenant after the death, resurrection, and ascension of Jesus Christ is also seen in Mary's mediation of grace, which flows from her relationship with the Holy Spirit. Though this teaching of the church has not yet been solemnly defined, just like the Assumption and the Immaculate Conception and other dogmas of Mary, it is part of the ordinary teaching of the Magisterium. That's why Pope Leo the 13th, in his encyclical Ortobri Mensi in 1891, opined that nothing of the vast treasure of all grace which the Lord has brought is given to us except through Mary. And Pope Pius VI, in his encyclical called Mary, the dispenser of all gifts which Jesus acquired for us. And Pope Benedict XVI or 15 said, all the gifts dispensed by the hands of the most holy Virgin are gotten from the Holy Spirit. And also Pope Pius XI affirmed this by saying that it is God's will that we should have everything through Mary. Before returning to the Father, Christ said in Acts of the Apostles chapter 1 verse 8 that when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, you will be filled with power. You shall be my witness in Jerusalem, in Judea, to the ends of the earth. Yes, this mission of the apostles began the moment they left the upper room in Jerusalem. The church was born and then grew through the testimony that Peter gave on the day of Pentecost. Meanwhile, because Mary had first encounter or experience with the Ruach of God during the Incarnation episode, so that time he was teaching the apostles at the upper room. So he was teaching them about the Holy Spirit because she had had an encounter with the Holy Spirit before. So that was why she could be able to recognize the presence of the Holy Spirit at the upper room on the day of Pentecost. The entire disciples of Christ at that time, they were inundated with power. Hey!